replaying even a few minutes of last Sunday's NFC title game would force a delay in the Super Bowl and confound years of intricate preparation for an event that demands an investment of more than $100 million, the NFL's chief financial officer said Friday in a sworn affidavit. The statement from Joseph Siclare, the league's executive vice president and CFO, was submitted with a legal filing by the NFL to yank one of two pending lawsuits over Sunday's officiating debacle from a state civil court to federal court in New Orleans. The filing marks the league's first formal response to a legal Hail Mary by a pair of ticket holders crying foul and demanding damages over the infamous no call that ended the Saints' Super Bowl dreams. The NFL's response to the lawsuit does not address the blown call, which came with less than 2 minutes to go and the Saints deep in Los Angeles Rams territory. The failure of any referee on the field to throw a flag on a blatant pass interference penalty stripped the Saints of a chance to run down the clock and kick a game-winning field goal to reach the Super Bowl in Atlanta, scheduled for Feb. 3. While the NFL has remained publicly silent about the controversial play, it was revealed Friday that the league has fined Rams defensive back nickel Roby Coleman $26,739 for his helmet-to-helmet hit on Saints receiver Tommy Lee Lewis, a second infraction that went unflagged on the same play. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported the fine Friday afternoon and a source later confirmed it to The Advocate. Saints head coach Sean Payton has said a league official admitted to him immediately after the game that both penalties should have been called on the play. Meanwhile, a hearing sought by the two plaintiffs in the lawsuit, Tommy Bader and Candice Lambert, that was scheduled for Monday was mooted by the NFL's filing on Friday. The league cited a federal law that allows a defendant to automatically remove a state class action suit to federal court when the parties are from different states and the amount of the damages sought by the plaintiffs exceeds $5 million. According to Siclare, a demand by the plaintiffs for the league to issue full refunds to 72,475 ticket holders well exceeds that benchmark on its own, as the average ticket price for the game hovered around $230. That adds up to more than $16 million in ticket proceeds. But the far bigger cost, Siclare suggested in his affidavit, would be if the Super Bowl is delayed by a court in order to rewind the clock and replay all or a portion of the NFC title game, a result urged by the plaintiffs and much of Whodat Nation, which is also listed as a plaintiff. The Super Bowl, the NFL's premier event, is a carefully planned and enormously expensive undertaking, with preparations carefully sequenced, from logistics to producing a full-blown music concert at halftime, Siclare wrote. It's no surprise that the NFL would seek to take the case out of the hands of a local New Orleans judge, in this case Civil District Court Judge Piper Griffin, in favor of a federal jurist, said local attorney Glenn McGovern. There's a perception by some people that federal court is fairer than state court, McGovern said. All big corporations feel more comfortable in federal court than state court. The consensus among legal analysts is that such lawsuits brought by ticket holders are destined to fail. Other embittered Saints fans, as well as team owner Gail Benson, are pushing for a change to league rules to avoid similar late-game mishaps in the future. Some players gathering in Orlando for this weekend's Pro Bowl said that while the no call has raised questions about whether the NFL should expand the role of replay officials, what was required Sunday was a better performance from the on-field officials. It was just a missed call. It was that simple, said Philadelphia Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins, a former Saint. You have human error, but it's unfortunate when that changes everything that you've worked for as a team and how hard it's been to get back to that spot. That's tough. Buffalo Bills defensive lineman Kyle Williams said all games have missed calls. You hated to see something that appeared to be that way finish a game like that, finish a season. For us as a league, it's hard to limit when you can and when you can't review those things, he said. Another defender, New York Giants safety Mike Thomas, said video replay of such plays could also benefit those in the defensive backfield. Honestly, watching full speed, I was like, he kind of got there early, but it was bang bang. Thomas said, you slow it down, clearly he got there early. I was like, oh, it looked way worse when you slowed it down. Other players expressed concern that additional replays would disrupt the flow of the game. Advocate reporter Rod Walker and the Associated Press contributed to this report. Follow John Zimmerman on Twitter, @JohnZimmerman.